There are people walking around right now with dreams buried so deep they don't even remember them anymore. This is not because they weren't good enough or because they no longer want it. The reason is, somewhere along the line, they stopped believing that it was possible. The real kicker is that they didn't decide to give up. They were taught to, by repeated failure, by trauma, by the systems, by silence. This isn't just a mindset problem, it's psychological, it's behavioral. It is called learned helplessness. And today, we're pulling it apart. In the late 1960s, two psychologists, Martin Seligman and Stephen Maier, ran a series of experiments that changed how we understand human behavior. The setup was disturbing. Dogs were placed in harnesses and given mild electric shocks. Some had a lever to stop the shocks. Others didn't. The ones that didn't have a lever to stop the shocks had no control. They whimpered. They froze. They accepted the pain. Later, all the dogs were placed in a new box, one they could easily escape from. But the dogs who could not stop the shocks had learned that nothing they did mattered. They didn't even try. They lay down. They took the pain, even though freedom was just a step away. What they had learned was, trying is pointless. And this wasn't just about dogs. It was a mirror held up to all of us. The lab experiment with the dogs was just the beginning. Learned helplessness is now everywhere. A child fails a math test once, twice, then stops trying. A woman speaks up in meetings, gets ignored, then falls silent. A man gets rejected from 20 jobs and never applies again. They are not lazy. Also, they are not incompetent. They have been conditioned. When life repeatedly tells you that your effort doesn't matter, eventually you believe it. Psychologists identify three major symptoms. 1. Emotional. You feel stuck, hopeless, numb. 2. Motivational. You stop trying, even when opportunity appears. 3. Cognitive. You literally don't see alternatives. According to research from the American Psychological Association, children raised in poverty, abusive households, or chaotic schools are significantly more prone to this behavior as adults. The tragedy? Some people spend their entire lives inside a prison with the door wide open. Here's the dark truth. Learned helplessness doesn't stay in one corner of your life. It spreads. What starts as why try in school becomes why bother in relationships, and what's the point at work. In a 2014 meta-study published in Clinical Psychology Review, learned helplessness was directly tied to major depression, PTSD, anxiety disorders, substance abuse, academic and workplace burnout. And here's the kicker. Society rarely sees it for what it is. You'll hear statements like, "They're just lazy," They lack discipline. They need to try harder. But the truth is, they did try harder. Just that now. They don't know how to try again because they think the pain will come, no matter what, just like the dogs in the lab experiments. Let's zoom out, because it gets worse. Sometimes helplessness isn't just personal. It's engineered by governments, corporations, and the media. They know something that psychology discovered decades ago, which is the more powerless people feel, the easier they can be controlled. This is why we have constant crisis, endless bad news, and broken promises. And over time, people stop pushing back. They start having these mindsets. Why vote? They'll rig it. Why protest? Nothing changes. Why fight? They have the power. This isn't laziness, it's psychological exhaustion. Political theorist Noam Chomsky called this manufactured consent. And even Gabor Mate, the renowned psychologist, warns that chronic stress conditions the public to accept powerlessness as normal. So, how do we undo the damage? First, realize that it's not your fault. What happened to you isn't weakness. It's survival. However, survival isn't the same as living. Step 1, awareness. Catch the thought. It won't work. Ask, is that true or just familiar? Step 2, small wins. Make your bed. Send that email. Walk for 10 minutes. Know that every act of effort is a quiet revolution. Step 3, surround yourself with believers, people who remind you of what you're capable of. And finally, track progress, not perfection. According to behavioral studies at Stanford, small, consistent efforts over time are more powerful than bursts of motivation. If this video resonates with something within you, please share to your loved ones, family, and friends. Don't forget to click on the like button, and if you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just click on the subscribe button and the notification bell. Remember, you didn't give up because you were weak. You gave up because the world trained you to. But the world doesn't get the final word. Today can be the moment you try again, and this time with eyes wide opened